All right, Rabotai. Let's try to do this again. Sometimes events in life happen that leave you in a chaotic state of mind. You thought your playing field was solid, and all of a sudden you find yourself inside a pit on top of the rebel. And that rebel is for example, the people that with their loss, when they're gone out of your life, I mean, they could be gone out of your life because they moved somewhere or because they died. As we said, father, mother, relatives, and so on and so forth. And all of a sudden you find yourself completely lost. And the question is, why is this loss of these people leave us in a state of mind of misery, or not knowing what to do, in a chaotic state of mind? And the reason is because we did not acknowledge them, we took them for granted. We took them for granted. We didn't realize their contribution to the strength of our life. We took it for granted for the ability that they gave us to move on through life, to navigate through the waters of life. And now that they are out of our lives, we find ourselves in a pit, in a hole, dark, when waves are coming at us. It's like in the ocean, those giant waves at night. One of the scariest things maybe is to be in an ocean storm in the middle of the night. If you've never experienced that, I think you should. To be in the middle of the ocean, it's dark, with giant waves slamming at your ship or your boat, with thunder and lightning. And that's what happened to us when we take that stabilizer of those people that we took for granted. It could be parents, there could be spouses, children, friends. There could be anything in your life that gives you stability. And because it gives you stability, you tend to disregard it, including your job. People tell me, oh, I'm bored with my job, I think I'm going to quit. Why are you going to quit? It's a good job. You enjoyed it, yes, but I'm bored. You take your job, all of a sudden you have an anxiety of looking for a job, you don't know where you're going to get it paid for, you're starting a job, terrible stuff. So instead of disregarding that, you need to appreciate it. Acknowledge their existence. Acknowledge their contribution to your life. Whether they are the congregants in your shul, if you're a rabbi, you should acknowledge, tell the people, I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you being a part of the shul. Because guess what? Without the congregants, you're not a rabbi. We're going to have a rabbi of chairs. Your workers, anybody in your life. It's the total effort of all these invisible people in your life that enable you to see the greater picture. But once you remove it, the pile of people that you stand on, or that person, or that individual, or this job, or whatever it is, once it's been removed, you fall down. And as I said to you, grandparents most likely at the top of the list of people that are going to soon disappear from our lives. Most likely. So when was the last time you actually sat with your grandmother or your grandfather and spent half an hour with them over a cup of tea and talk about here, there, and everywhere? Just like chilling out with your grandpa or your grandma. What are you going to do? You're going to tell everybody how much you love your grandma once she's gone? Who are you fooling? How do you tell me you love your grandmother if you never spend a minute with her? So you need to make a list. You need to make a list of all the people that you take for granted in your life, and you say, wow, I'm taking for granted for my life, my parents. Yes, most likely you take your parents for granted. I'm taking my spouse for granted. Yes, you're taking your spouse for granted. When was the last time you told your spouse or your parents that you appreciate them? Because guess what? As bad as you think it is, let me see you doing without your spouse. Making you breakfast, washing the dishes for you, doing the laundry for you, warming up the bed for you when it's cold, giving you a shoulder to lean on to when you need and you know there's nobody there, or your parents, or your brother, or your friend. That is horrible. Finally, somebody was willing to marry you and to deal with the bag of stench that we all are, and we're taking them for granted. There's not enough we can do for them. When was the last time you smell your old socks? You hold like this, but then somebody else washes them for you. The stability that those invisible people give to our lives is priceless. Or the job. You have a job, stay in it. You have a house, stay in it. Don't move. Don't create chaos in your life. The waves of life will come and pounding on you. And each and every one of us needs to have his own Tevat Noach, his own Noach's Ark. To our great fortune, we have many different arks that we could withdraw into at those big waves of life that they come crushing at us, threaten to flood us. Torah, you're coming to Bet Medrash to learn. That's your ark. You're coming here. You're in a different world. You're coming to Bet Medrash to learn. You are experiencing Yemot HaMashiach, Messianic time. You don't need to go to I don't know, Bnei Brak to learn, to feel that, or to sit in the Kotel and to learn Torah. You're going to be doing here. Shabbat. Shabbat is an absolutely, no, when we leave the whole world behind us, we're closing ourselves within. With whom do we close ourselves within? With the people who count the most and most likely we take for granted the most. Who? Our spouses, our children, ourselves. Unity is another Tevat Noach. When the whole world seems to tear you apart, you withdraw into unity. Who are unity with? Shalom Bayit, husband and wife. Friends. United with your friends. You're not alone in the world. Go look outside. Go look outside. How many most of the people out there are lonely. And they're looking for love to hire. Something to show their existence. So they do all these crazy things to prove to themselves that they're alive. But they're lonely people. You don't appreciate the simplicity of stability of life. That's why you also don't enjoy life. So you need to make a list of all those things that you've been taken for granted, and these are the blessings of your life. The blessings of your life are all the things that you take for granted. Yes, your wife with the pajama, with a head like this, she's a stability. Your husband who is getting old and fat, and he's your stability. Your children, your grandchildren, your job that you get up every morning. Do you know there's a job that will be able to feed you? That's your stability. You should say thank you for that. Sit down and spend 30 seconds, 30 seconds, appreciating the things that you don't appreciate. Appreciate the things that you neglect of appreciating. Say thank you. See how lucky you are. And all of a sudden you feel great. I do encourage you to make the list and go to all these people that you could not make it without them. Those who provide you the hill to stand upon, and celebrate them being in your life so you can continue on to have a very good life. Go back to your own ark. Have a great day.